Охуеть.
Besides its official coolness presented in public, the Russian leadership is beginning to panic over Ukrainian strikes on Russian refineries, as they have no answer to this strategy. On the morning of October 11th, long-range drones of the SSU's Center of Special Operations A hit the Bashneft UNPZ oil refinery in Ufa, Republic of Bashkortostan in Russia. The distance from the state border of Ukraine to the target is about 1,400 kilometers, sources in the Ukrainian Special Services told Suspiln. According to the sources, Ufa is one of Russia's key oil refining centers, which provides fuel and lubricants to Russian troops. After the strike, a fire was observed on the territory of the plant. A column of black smoke rose above the facility, and fire trucks arrived at the scene. The damage was recorded in the area of the ELOUAV T6 crude oil refinery. This is the third strike on oil refining facilities in Bashkortostan in the last month, the sources said. As a reminder, on the night of September 13th, a Ukrainian drone hit the Bashneft Novoil refinery, located on Bursky Tract Street. The drone hit the AVT-1 process unit, which damaged the gas pipeline and flare manifold. Another drone crashed on the territory of the Ufa oil refinery, Bashneft UNPZ. It damaged the AVT-6 unit and put 2 water and nitrogen pipelines out of commission. And all of this damage has been caused only by drones. No wonder Russian President Putin is frightened. Imagine what will happen when Tomahawk cruise missiles arrive, with much greater range and roughly 10 times the payload. It could spell the death of Russia's oil industry. The Ukrainian Air Force continues to strike Russian positions on a daily basis, maintaining relentless pressure across the front. In the Mirnorad sector, a Ukrainian Su-27 carried out precision airstrikes near Chervony Lyman, targeting Russian infantry and logistics points. These attacks are part of a broader campaign aimed at weakening Russian defenses and supply routes. Ukrainian pilots are now using advanced tactics, combining airstrikes with drone reconnaissance and artillery coordination, which has significantly increased the effectiveness of their operations and disrupted Russian movements in the area. Ukrainian air assault forces repelled a major Russian assault on the Dobropilya axis. Russians attempted to capture Vodimirivka and Sofivka using 6 tanks, more than 40 IFVs, 40 vehicles, and several hundred troops. Ukraine destroyed 3 tanks, 13 infantry fighting vehicles, 41 vehicles, and eliminated around 100 personnel. Vodimirivka is now being cleared. Over the past 2 months, the situation on the Dobropilya axis has seen sharp shifts in momentum. In late August, Russian forces launched an intense push in this sector, managing to breach Ukrainian forward defenses south of the city. Using armored assaults supported by glide bombs and artillery, they briefly advanced several kilometers, capturing a few small settlements and threatening to cut Ukrainian supply routes toward Pokrovsk. However, the offensive quickly began to stall as Russian units faced heavy losses and overstretched logistics. By mid-September, Ukrainian forces regrouped and launched a coordinated counterattack. Supported by artillery, drones, and precision airstrikes, Ukrainian brigades struck Russian flanks, retaking most of the lost ground and pushing enemy units back to their previous lines. The counteroffensive demonstrated Ukraine's improved coordination between infantry, armor, and long-range fires. Russian attempts to re-establish momentum have since failed, with Ukrainian defenders solidifying their positions and continuing to target Russian supply nodes and ammunition depots in the rear. Today, the Dobropilya axis remains highly contested but stabilized in Ukraine's favor. Russia's initial breakthrough attempt turned into another costly failure, while Ukraine's swift counterstrike restored control of key terrain and inflicted significant casualties. The front here now reflects the broader pattern across the Donetsk region. Moscow's offensives achieve only temporary gains, quickly reversed by Ukraine's growing ability to strike with precision and coordination. Russian Railways is reported to have faked a Ukrainian attack to cover up its own culpability for a fatal derailment in the Leningrad region in September 2025, caused when a locomotive was ordered to be driven at over twice the permitted line speed. The crash of a TEP-70BS diesel-electric locomotive occurred on the 14th of September near Semrino Station in the Gatchina district of the Leningrad region. The driver was freed after being trapped in the cab, but died in an ambulance. The crash occurred on the same day as the separate derailment of a locomotive pulling 15 empty tank cars in the Lushsky district of the Leningrad region. Both crashes were widely suspected to be the work of Ukrainian or anti-Putin partisan sabotage. However, the VCHK OGPU Telegram channel reports that Russian Railways' internal investigation has found that the locomotive was being driven at 163 kilometers per hour, 101 miles per hour, at the moment of the derailment, more than twice the permitted speed of 80 kilometers per hour, 50 miles per hour. The driver is said to have been ordered by his superiors to override safety features and greatly exceed the speed limit. After the crash, they falsely claimed to the media that sabotage was suspected, apparently to conceal their own culpability. The channel reports, the cause of the derailment was a gross violation of the technical operation rules. These rules, as railway workers say, are written in blood. And the tragedy in Semrino has once again proven that disregarding them leads to death. According to the speedometer readings, the locomotive that derailed, while permitted 80 kilometers per hour, was traveling at 163 kilometers per hour. It's no surprise that the locomotive veered off the track and overturned. The engineer certainly violated regulations, but he didn't act on his own initiative. The order to expedite delivery came from above. According to the documents, the engineer is an experienced driver instructor for locomotive crews at the St. Petersburg Warsaw Depot. The TSKBM safety system was not engaged, and the KLU-BU block was set to track 0. This trick allows for speeds of up to 200 kilometers per hour. At 7:36 a.m., the TEP-70BS diesel locomotive with electric transmission, passenger, Type 70, Boris Salambekov, departed St. Petersburg Tovarny Vitebsky station. At 8:07, it passed Kobralovo station at 136 kilometers per hour, and on the Kobralovo-Semrino stretch, the speed reached 163 kilometers per hour. At 8:08 a.m., at a switch at Semrino station, traveling at 153 kilometers per hour, the train derailed and fell onto its side. The permitted speed on this section is 80 kilometers per hour. All this suggests a deliberate attempt to get the diesel locomotive out to its destination as quickly as possible. The engineer's qualifications suggest that the train was being driven by someone well-versed in bypassing safety interlocks to operate the locomotive without the automatic speed limiter. The engineer's qualifications suggest that the train was being driven by someone well-versed in bypassing safety interlocks to operate the locomotive without the automatic speed limiter. The cause of the monstrous speed increase was the dispatch of faulty electric train number 839 on the St. Petersburg-Pechery-Pskovsky route, which required a backup locomotive. It was to rescue it that the TEP-70BS was deployed, at the cost of the engineer's life and extensive damage. According to sources of VCHK OGPU, the main goal of Artem Rudyuk, head of the Oktyabrskaya Traction Directorate, has long been profit, not the safety of people. After the disaster, his first order was to hush it up and blame it on anyone else. Meanwhile, a popular version about sabotage on the tracks was released to the press. Rudyuk, sources say, considers himself untouchable thanks to the patronage of Russian Railways Deputy CEO Dmitry Pegov.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.